What's a legal way to make easy money that actually worked for you? OSU in Oregon does paid taste tests from time to time. Every time I do one, I show up for about a half hour, I eat 3 different things, write down my opinions on them, and they give me $40. Last time was veggie burgers. You sit in a booth, they give you a half veggie burger, you eat it, write down your opinion. Do it again 2 times and they hand you 2 $20 bills. You literally get paid to eat food. It's always been pretty decent as well. I mean, not restaurant quality, but passable at least. House sitting. No, seriously. People will pay you to just sit in their house while they're on vacation, even if they don't have any pets to take care of. Aside from a regular job, focus groups. They sound too good to be true, but they aren't. Just made $350 last Thursday in a mock jury, paid the same day. I've been doing them for about 10 years. Check this out. First of all, you and me start working at the bank. Doesn't matter the position, okay? Just so long as we get in there, all right? Then we just go there every day, do the work, gain their trust until we get them in the palm of our hand. All right, so how we get the money? That's the beauty of it, bro. They deposit the money into our bank accounts week after week, month after month. They're not even gonna know they're being robbed. And then 20 or 30 years later, we walk out the front door like nothing even happened. In college, I used to buy people's used book for like $10 more than the school store offered. I would then sell these to Amazon for gift cards. For a majority of college, most of my non-food items came from Amazon. Even built myself a $5,000 computer. I would buy each book for around 30, 40 USD and sell them for around 100, 150. Joined the furry fandom and learned to build those animal costume heads. If you get good enough, one fursuit head can sell for $500 $1,000. A full body costume can end up being worth $3,000 plus. Furries also tend to be willing to excitedly throw money at artists for anything with their characters in it, adult content or not. The tough part is finding a good time to sell, like in the month before a convention. I once did a vaccine trial for the Ebola vaccine and made a decent chunk of change. I also tried selling plasma, but that doesn't work for me, and I passed out, so I don't recommend. I did meet one person who would just do training courses at call centers in America before quitting. There were a bunch of call centers in his area that would all hire you with basically no interview. They would even rehire you if you walked out as long as it had been 18 months. He had it schemed out where he would just train for a job at the call center, walk out, then work at a different call center. Never actually called anybody. Probably a pretty boring way to make not much money, but it's very easy. Auctions. Look for unique items that you have knowledge about that most people won't. I managed to buy about a dozen industrial 15-ton crane hooks that were brand new from a reputable manufacturer. I paid $2K and spent an afternoon calling industrial suppliers that sold that particular brand. Doubled my money with an afternoon of phone calls. I bought an unusual but high-quality brand CNC machine from another auction for $7.5 thousand and sold it for $21K. Tomorrow, I am bidding on some electric bikes. Friend of mine buys bulk loads of costume jewelry on eBay, splits them up and sells them individually. Sometimes comes across really old gold/silver/diamond jewelry mixed in and sells them on her website. It's been great for her since she has a young kid and her partner committed suicide. As a result of his death, she has agoraphobia, so it's a job she can do from home. A friend of mine knows some niche markets and goes to Goodwill and buys broken, or whole if luck is really with him, items in his niche. He's got enough parts to rebuild whole items and then sells them on eBay. He also figured out certain household appliances that have expensive replacement parts and gets those at Goodwill, disassembles them, and sells the parts. He does this for 2-3 hours every weekend and makes a couple $100 each weekend, after adjusting for buying stuff at Goodwill and then mailing it through the post office. It requires luck, perseverance, and knowing your market, but it's a good hobby that offers some cash. Not me, but my best man has this thing where he will buy Lego packs, store them for a couple years until they are discontinued, and then resell them for anywhere between X5 to X30 the price. He makes a killing out of it, but it does require a small investment in buying the tough and holding onto it for a time. He focuses on pop culture related packs that collectors will want. Transformers, Star Wars, etc. He sold a Star Wars Star Destroyer for like $1,000 just the other day. He does this with some good wines also, but from what he tells me, this won't be profitable for at least a decade. My buddy tried scuba diving and thought it was a really cool hobby, so he spent like $2-3K on equipment for his weekend hobby. He started selling his funds online. Fast forward 6-ish months, and he quits his job because him scuba diving every other week and selling shark teeth he finds on eBay and to bulk buyer companies was making him more than his job as an EE. Last year, he made over $100K doing this. If you have a regular income coming in through direct deposit, you can churn bank account sign-up bonuses for an easy couple grand per year. Doctor of Credit regularly updates their site help track available bank subs and the terms for each offer. Most of the big banks, Wells Fargo, Chase, etc., have standing offers for you to open new accounts and get X number of dollars in exchange for making a certain amount of electronic deposits in the account. It doesn't have to be direct deposit from a payroll processor, but that is the most straightforward way of doing it. After you meet the terms of the offer, the bank will deposit the money in your account. You can then close your account and move your money out to your preferred banking option. Just keep in mind some banks require you keep the account open for a minimum amount of time, usually 60, 90 days, from the original opening date to keep the offer. Also, keep in mind that this is considered taxable income, and the bank will send the IRS information about how much they paid you. This is not like credit card sign-up bonuses, which are considered rebates. Pay your taxes, people! My son works hard and is always making money on the side. He has made a lot of money hauling scrap metal for people. They get their yards cleaned, and he keeps the money from the metal. We live in a more rural area. My brother used to grow pumpkins every year and sell them in the fall. Honestly, flipping items from thrift stores has been my go-to. I started by picking up vintage clothing and unique knickknacks, then reselling them online. One time, I found an old designer jacket for $10 and sold it for $200. It takes a bit of time and an eye for valuable stuff, but it's totally doable and can be pretty profitable. Flea markets, estate sales, Facebook Marketplace, and flipping. It's quite easy to make a bit of money if you know how expensive things in certain hobbies are. It does require some specialist knowledge, though. The good thing is that it works in a lot of different areas. You can flip clothing, tools, jewelry, furniture, hobby supplies, collector's stuff, and so much more. You need money to make money, though, and you can't be doing the thing everyone else is doing. What works and what does not really depends on your local place. But there is always money to be made somewhere. Pretty standard. Exploit natural resources. In my case, rock. I just crush it into 3/4-inch pieces, and the world buys as much as I can make. It costs about $1.75 million to own the equipment. Depreciation and fuel maintenance is about $200/HR, but about $3,000/HR of rock comes out. Over the lifetime of the equipment, 12000 HRS-ish, the cost is about $3.5 million total, but the rock produced is about $36–40 million. My actual labor is entirely comprised of phone calls and the occasional meeting. Thank you for watching this video. Write your comments and don't forget to subscribe.